literally hotter, and there's the horrible humidity.
What do you think about Boys Beware?
What do you think about boys being boys?
I think it was very
Sometimes I
interesting.
just sit at the park and watch them play basketball in my suit. And then occasionally, if one boy's left alone, I'll go up and join him.
Yeah, especially if you look sick or weak.
Yeah, of course. And then I'll play a couple of rounds and then have a heat stroke on the ground and you'll have to call an ambulance for me.
It's like, I think this kid over here is going to be getting off on probation pretty soon if you catch my drift.
Why? Why does the kid get probation? Like, the guy goes to jail.
That's the price for, luring in that poor man with your sexy boy hole.
God. I just don't get it. I don't get and he got probation because he didn't realize soon enough he was getting raped. Like, what?
I don't think
the crime of letting an older man
meant it in the way of like he has 3 months probation.
They put a collar on his ankle.
I think they literally just meant, we released him to his parents.
God, I hope so. Imagine the United States justice system being like,
I hope so. I pray that's true. Because
the American justice system does have some flaws.
It did not seem as though at no point did they specify that the problem here
was that he was a pedophile.
That he was too young.
Yeah, no, that was never the implication.
The youngness of the victim was only a factor in how easy it was for him to be manipulated.
Yeah. The problem was he was a homosexual.
He had caught a disease.
A sickness that is
contagious,
not visual, but is no less contagious than smallpox. I love that line, dude. No less contagious than smallpox.
You can only get it by saliva.
Mad
makeout sessions.
I thought you just had to listen to enough Elton John, and
that's why they have to manipulate
your brain chemistry.
No. Well, yes, but no. That's slow. That's a slow process.
Right.
If you want that, if you want it quick, you gotta mad makeout sessions.
That's why they have to.
That's why the homosexuals have to manipulate you, dude.
Yeah, because you gotta find those people who are emotionally vulnerable, and then manipulate their lonely, vulnerable emotions into being confused and.
That's why traps are so dangerous.
Sexual perversion.
I wouldn't know anything about any of this. This is so far from my area of expertise.
Well, hold on.
Let us tell you.
Okay.
I know something that you're an expert in.
What's that?
Why are you nibbling on my arm?
I know you're an expert at discovering traps.
I thought you were going to say podcasting.
No, you suck at that.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
I'm a trap.
Oh,
we know.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
It's not a trap if we know, dude.
You're boy moding today.
Okay.
Yeah, you're otter body boy moding.
I've learned some Spanish.
Have you?
Yeah.
Good. So we can do that video where we're going to cut your head off and you're pleading in Spanish to not not kill you.
Once I can do conversational Spanish. I'm only in the A1.
He decided to join the
Which is apparently like the way languages are, when you're learning languages, it's broken up into A1, A2, B1, B2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be A1, B1, C1, D1. And I was like, yeah, it's just the alphabet, dude.
You're a beginner.
Yes, but A1,
no. So the beginning and the beginning.
So
I'm like a beginner.
We had a meeting with I
learned Buenos Dias, which is good morning.
We thought we were gonna have some fucking
Dias being day and Buenas being good.
We thought we were gonna have some Japanese people at a meeting at a business meeting recently, and I got to teach the whole office how to say generic weebish Japanese phrases.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to teach very basic Japanese to my family.
Let's simulate that, except I'm gonna go in Spanish.
Okay, yeah, okay.
All right, let me. I'm gonna say.
You're too curious
hello.
right now. Off my lap.
Oh, konnichiwa.
Hola.
Hi. Ore wa Patrick. Hajimemashite, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And then I hand you my business card.
Right. Well, I guess I would take this business card.
Yeah. What do you say back in Spanish?
And then I'd be like, hola, mucho gusto.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Hello, very good.
No, mucho gusto is, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to meet
you.
you. Something like that.
Might have also started with a gracias, maybe, when he handed you the card.
Possibly. I'm a rude fuck, though.
Yeah,
I was about to say it's a
he's
business.
an American. He's an American.
I'm an
Probably,
American
you
who's
know.
learned Spanish. That's the
Who is rudely talking to the Japanese man in the meeting in Spanish because he can't tell the difference. That's what's happening here. He's just searching his brain.
Manners is somewhat ubiquitous across languages. By learning the language, you generally will learn what the difference is between good manners and one or the other is, because it's built into the language usually. You know, because we say Mr., they say San, blah blah blah. You know, but go on.
Senor.
So I guess I'd further than go like.
You know this is going to be like possible at some point because of the new iPad.
Pablo Ingles.
Hi. Fuck, what is speak in Japanese? I know how to say Japanese in Japanese, but I don't remember how to say speak.
Wonderful, Nippon.
Yeah. Nihongo wa
Tu hablas
Japanese.
Ingles?
I can reply in Spanish. Just make this business meeting more confusing. Japanese man who realizes you think he's Spanish, so he actually swaps to Spanish.
That'd be so funny.
He can speak Spanish better than you.
What would be even funnier if he
yo hablo inglés.
I think it's even funnier if it's like they speak Japanese, you speak English, but you like, oh, here's some Spanish, and they're like, oh, broken Spanish. I do know this.
Yeah, exactly.
And they speak broken Spanish back to you.
You great Spanglish.
You both speak
what?
broken English like really badly. Have you heard that thing that Apple's working on where they've got live translation for the AirPods now? Where it's like,
fucking what?
Yeah. Two people can talk to each other in completely different languages and speak to one another because all you got to do is set your AirPods to whatever native language you know, and then they can talk to you and it'll like feed the language into your ear.
I cannot believe it'd be instantaneous. There has to be like a second delay.
It'd be based on how good your internet connection is.
Like, you know, like I can deal with that. I mean, quite frankly, as soon as like Google Glass and Instant Translate stuff had the like one language to another with all the proper like, you know, punctuation.
Fuck the
and
proper
like,
stuff. It didn't have
stuff.
any of that.
No, that's not even the point. The point is I could like plug whatever the fuck in English into like one end of it and then just like, you know, hit send basically and then like point my phone at somebody who speaks a language I have no fucking clue about. And on one side of my phone, the question in exactly the right way that they would want to hear it is posed to them.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Like I've done that at the gym. Some Spanish guy was like asking me questions. I was like, fuck. So I just took Google Translate out of my phone.
What would a unified human language, what would the name of that be?
They have that
English
uniform. What the fuck is it called? There's that really gay one that everybody wants to. It's like
Mandarin. I don't know.
No.
We use Latin.
No, God, how
for,
do neither of you know?
like,
I think it's Unicode.
Certain, like scientific annotations, just because it's
I don't
easier.
know the Matrix, dude.
It's like
I mean, the Japanese know about binomial nomenclature, and that's why we share the Latin terms. That's the only universal language I'm aware of at this point.
Huh.
We're literally using an ancient trade language.
Esperanto. That's what it is.
Oh, Esperanto.
Esperanto.
Nobody
it's the
fucking
world's most
speaks
widely
Esperanto.
spoken, constructed international auxiliary language.
What the fuck is all those words even mean?
It's just like it's
put those
so.
words in a sense that I understand.
Hold on, let me feed that.
So a
into
bunch of
Deep
people
Seek.
made this up recently for no apparent reason, and it's the most popular dumb nonsense language out there.
Yeah. It's
Like,
if I recall, the
basically-
second one is Klingon.
I
I'm
was
not even
about
joking.
to say the second one is Klingon.
I'm
Holy
not
shit!
even joking. I think the
Because
second
I
one is
realized
Klingon.
as soon as I
Okay.
finished putting that like into pieces in my brain that makes sense, I was like, wait, so it's a made up language made just for shit and giggles. So like the only other thing would be like Elvish and Klingon.
Yeah,
How many people speak it?
I don't know.
'Cause that's the real test. Who gives a fuck if it's the most
I'm
widely spoken, constructed language? It matters like how many do millions of people speak it? Like hundreds of millions of people speak Spanish. Hundreds of millions of people.
I can
speak
think of like
English.
10 languages. I would be fine with us just picking one and everybody like choosing it. Like, I don't care. English, Chinese, Spanish.
You know how Chat GPT is like so censored you can't like can't say something rude into it, and then it'll give you something back out. DeepSeek's not that way because it's made by Chinese and they don't give a fuck. So I put that wording in and I said, rewrite this so a retard can read it. And
Oh my God.
It just came back with, sure, here's a simpler version. Esperanto, pronounced Esperanto, is a made-up language that people all over the world use to talk to each other. It's the most popular language of its kind.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, God damn.
Nobody's used to speak this. It was made in the modern
Okay.
era just for shits and giggles.
How many people speak it?
I don't know. Let's see. How many
Because like,
retards
look,
retards speak
100
that
like
dumb
hundreds
shit?
of million people speak English, right?
Yeah, look, if I'm gonna like
a billion
learn,
something people speak Chinese.
yeah, if I'm gonna learn another fucking language, it's gonna be Chinese, Spanish. Like in my current geographical location, if nothing changes
is
in
it?
my life, I'll learn
It's not-
Spanish.
It's not even like being like you should change your tone or anything. No, it's just like Esperanto is a constructed language created to foster international. It has 100,000 to 2 million speakers worldwide, with a
Okay.
smaller
like-
number of fluent speakers.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, a
don't
smaller
get
number of fluent speakers.
at
Oh, so
me
a lot of people know broken
for
Esperanto.
saying
In other words, a
retard.
lot of people like
have
figured out how to say
conversational
yes,
Esperanto.
no, and shit and fuck in Esperanto.
Not necessarily. We don't know the parameters.
I'm being
of
mean to DeepSeek
Well,
now.
how they're
How
counting.
many languages do you know yes, no, shit, and fuck in, as opposed to
Like
how many
4 or
languages you can actually...
5, but, like, I wouldn't say I speak them.
No,
Like, you know what I'm
but
saying?
you know yes, no, shit, and fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, don't get mad at me for saying retard, asshole. They responded with, I'm here to help and provide respectful, constructive conversations.
Ooh,
There's
the
something.
Chinese people hit you with like, listen, man,
know.
I'm going to do my job, but you're being an asshole.
Now, yeah, translate.
And I respect that.
Solid-
Solidarity with DeepSeek. I
It's-
respect that.
I like DeepSeek, dude. It doesn't fucking get mad at me like ChatGPT does.
Weirdly
And
enough, I've actually heard a lot of good things about it.
it's
already.
way better than any of our models. And I just love it. It's just taken over Google from my phone. Like, I
Ooh.
don't care.
yeah.
I like how
it's
Google
fine.
keeps
I
trying
don't
to give me
care.
an AI answer before it like gets to the
Yeah.
actual shit right beneath it. And I'm
Which
just like,
all that shit's just articles that people paid for, that they paid for SEO so it could get up top. How hard would it be for me to like get a website and then like make it like myasshole.com and then like make the SEO really high for one specific topic so that when people search for
How much
something,
money you got?
about $12,000.
I'm going to say pretty
not
hard.
at all.
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
difficult.
Essentially
Uh,
impossible for that little amount of money.
damn it.
That's not enough money to get you at the top.
What if
mean-
I spend all those $12,000 on lottery tickets?
You
Well-
have a chance of winning half of it back.
Okay,
Like it's I
Fair.
mean theoretically possible to end up having more money by the end of it, but it's also statistically unlikely.
You have to do a lot. I would recommend doing a lot of math on which ticket you're buying.
Yeah. You still dating somebody?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Joe.
Okay.
Why?
Joe fix it.
I haven't met him yet.
Okay, no, it's Joe Pipe Fixer or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
I could
His last name was Plumber, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, just Joe Plumber.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. He hot?
He's pretty all right.
He cleans out them
Average.
pipes, I'll tell you that.
He looks like Eric, doesn't he? All of your boyfriends look like Eric.
Well,
I don't know. Like, I'm
He
just
has
trying
good taste.
to. My ass, he does.
Fuck you.
If I wanted a balding Norwegian as a boyfriend, I would go to Norway.
damn, balding. That's rough.
I
That's so
will
rough.
be balding in 10 years, thank you very much.
You're sitting at a Norwood, like one? I don't know. You're not really balding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be there.
I don't know. What's the Patrick? Put up the Norwood scale. Where's Eric on the Norwood scale? I'm
Where
pulling that
are
shit
we
up.
all on the Norwood
I don't
scale?
know.
It would probably
Uh,
be better if I didn't keep my hair in a tight ponytail
Yeah,
all
you
the
think
time.
so? It would be
But
like.
I don't care, and I'm gonna enjoy my hair while I have
Let's
it.
see. Do you have like a bald spot, like a patch on the back of your head,
Nope.
on your crown? Okay, so you're
I mean,
definitely
you can
not.
check it. I'll
I
take
do.
it out. You can
You're not
look.
at. Do you?
Yeah, see.
Yeah, you kind of do. Let's see. Pull your bangs back. Let me see what you're rocking up there on your forehead. You're sitting at like a Norwood 3, my man.
Is he like right in between flat and a widow's peak? Because I wouldn't call that a widow's peak, but he clearly has a bit of an edge there.
I'd call it like an eagle's perch more than a widow's peak. That's like that. It's more like
It definitely like focuses up right there.
I got
but
that
it's-
Vegeta forehead.
yeah, it's a spot to put like a feather. You know, like you
Yeah.
could stick like a feather straight out of that and then
Hell
back
yeah.
like Lou Boo.
It's not like Lugosi level of like, you know,
Like,
Lugosi, like what, from Beastars? Lugosi?
Lugosi.
Who the fuck is Lugosi?
The man who played fucking Dracula in the 1930s, who has the most epic widow's peak of all time.
Why can't I just know everything through anime? Why is it when I'm like Lugosi from Beastars,
I'll
he has
be
to be like, no,
completely
a
honest,
real
bro.
thing, you fucking
Yeah,
retard.
a real cultural.
Yeah,
There's
real
a
cultural.
hold on, because there's a very legitimate thing that Lugosi is in fucking some animes. I bet you that he is in there. Not like as an actor.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're
like he's been depicted in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's like a 0% chance there aren't like 5 anime
He's the guy that
have
looks
him in
just
there.
like Nick Cage, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. He looks exactly like Nicolas Cage.
He's
Did
very.
you know
I
Nicolas
think.
Cage paid to Dracula?
Yeah, that movie rules. I rewatched it like last
Oh
week.
yeah, the one
Renfield.
Renfield. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a super fun
No,
movie. A lot of
no,
people
on the
didn't
boat.
like it, but
On the boat.
Yeah, the boat movie.
he's not the.
He's not the Dracula in the
that.
boat movie.
Yeah, he is, isn't
No, he's not.
No.
That's like a CG Dracula that's made by the guy who played the alien and fucking.
Yeah, they're going for a Nosferatu
Yeah,
vibe.
he's like
so
a big
I guess
spooky
I can,
monster.
I can understand why you look at Nosferatu and think that looks kind of like, you know,
Yeah,
Cage.
Nick Cage. Yeah. You
Like,
look at
he
a
does.
CG monster, any
I
CG
just thought that was
monster.
what he was doing these days.
No.
I thought
No.
that was his thing right now.
You look at
He kinda just
Mr. X
does
from
whatever
Resident
he
Evil
wants.
2 and you go, yeah, that looks like Nick Cage.
You know, I just look at general ugly people. I'm like, yeah, it's probably Nick Cage.
You look
For
at-
someone who makes a lot of really bad movies, Nick Cage is like universally beloved.
Yeah, he's all right.
I want to
No
have
one-
Nick Cage play Gollum.
Like he never pisses anyone off. He can put in a bad performance or be in a very bad movie.
I like when he's
And
in,
at the end of the day, he's just done enough other stuff. And the stuff he's done badly was just so inoffensive that I just don't know anyone who really feels strongly in a negative sense about Nick Cage. You're either like, oh, yeah, he's all right. Or you're just like, yeah, he has some performances that are like some of the best fucking things ever.
I like his indie movies. His best like Hollywood movie, in my
Yeah.
opinion, is like Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, probably. And I want to see Pig. I still haven't seen Pig, but apparently that movie rules.
So we're not even going to talk about his magnum opus.
Not Children of the Corn. Fucking.
Oh, when he's like killing the animatronic people.
It's a couple steps above Face Off.
What?
We all know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Face Off is probably one of my favorite Nick Cage movies.
Obviously,
Where he's
it's
killing
Ghost
the
Rider.
animatronic. Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, he was in
Yeah.
he was.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah,
Yeah, he
it is
was
the
in a
knockoff
thing.
Five Nights at Freddy's. You're right.
Yeah, they kind of beat Five Nights at Freddy's to the punch since they were dragging their heels so fucking much, and they
Yeah.
were just like,
They had to get
Holy
all the
shit.
YouTubers in it, dude.
well,
They got
I mean,
Will
I
in
guess
there.
they did.
Will's in that movie.
Yeah.
He's like
He's
my-
Bonnie, isn't he?
Yeah.
In that one
I really-
scene.
Yeah, I think that's your only credit, isn't it? Your only TV credit?
I was no, I didn't play Bonnie. I was like a side character off in the. You might see me if you look in the dark hard enough.
Okay, but is that your only TV credit on IMDb?
Yeah, only one credited. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're in other stuff, but I think that is your only credit.
You know, I do a lot of volunteer work.
I was
Yeah,
almost
I've seen.
positive you had done background work on something else.
I know he was in Cops that one time, but like
That
I think
wasn't
you
as
didn't
an
sign
actor.
you didn't sign the release, so I don't think that counts.
They didn't show my face.
Yeah.
Legally, I can't say I was a cops.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know that's how that worked. Would you guys have wanted to be on Cops? Like, like
If I was in a like cop uniform,
No.
and
No.
currently
I mean,
being
like,
paid by the state to do
No.
policing, then I
No.
wouldn't have minded. No, that wouldn't. You know.
I mean, like, would you look back on, let's say you're 50 years old right now. If you had done something dumb at like 26
Mhm.
and you could look back and be like, I'm on an episode of Cops, would you watch that episode and like tell people that you were on Cops?
Hold
No.
that thought. Let me.
Because everyone on cops. is-
No, stop. Let me do this real quick.
What?
That exact same sentence changed the show from Cops to Jerry Springer.
Yeah, yes, obviously. That exact same sentence, but change it to Catch a Predator.
Oh.
No, who would want to be on that show?
Well, this is
Brag about
definitely
being on
an
that show.
ascending scale here.
That's the one where I'm like, who signed that release? Like, who? Whoever was like, yeah, actually, you know what? It'll be good for my career.
I just don't think like okay. So in some states, for example, well, if they own the house, I don't think it matters because in some states it's a one-party state. If they're filming you, they don't need your damn consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I think they usually have that worked around.
They
where
can
they
show.
Don't need
I
that
actually
guy's
know how it
consent.
works in To Catch a Predator. It's considered for the good of the public.
Mhm.
So they do that in a state where they have for the good of the public laws. Mississippi has it too. So if you get arrested, they can put up why you were arrested, where, and then your picture on Facebook.
Oh yeah, there's like a petty crimes newsletter thing.
Yes,
you can see
yeah,
at gas
yeah.
stations. They'll say who's been
I've
going
been in
around
it a few
being,
times. I know.
who's been going around being a little cunt.
Oh yeah, I
lately.
like to read the paper, and like on the second page, most of the time, it's like the list of like what the city has been doing, what the county cops have been doing, and then like sometimes they'll have stuff like what the ambulance and firemen have been
And
doing.
sometimes the front page is like a pedophile.
Yeah, like recently there was a
It's-
guy who was touching people in
I
the
know.
hospital.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's generally public nuisances. They're letting people know, like, holy shit, someone actually got caught for doing this.
No, fuck that. There was a guy that they put in there who worked at the Corinth School District.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he had pictures
had
of his students, and he was using AI to make like,
Child porn.
Yeah.
Yes.
That should not be illegal.
They knew about that since fucking.
Wait. Back up. What?
That should not be illegal. If I can draw my fucking students so well that I make obvious like sexual image of them, like that's
Will
not that
had to
shouldn't be
backpedal
illegal.
in his head a little bit there. He's
I
like,
don't-
wait, what?
I'm just saying, dude, that's fucked up because he's not hurting anybody.
So you're saying
As long as the
someone who
kids
is
never see it.
actively taking the images of the specific children in his class and running them through an AI thing so that he can make porn of them to masturbate to. And you don't think maybe he also maybe
not
wants to fuck my children?
No,
I'm sure
no,
he
no,
does.
No. This isn't even like you can't even make the same argument like for like lolly stuff, for instance. I don't even agree with that argument. But like with lolly stuff, at least you can be like, one, it's like a cultural difference. Two, it's a drawing. This is like a realistic, real people, like fucking being taken, and all that's being done. The only thing different is the AI is making the imaginary
Yeah,
stuff.
so it shouldn't be illegal.
It's still realistic, and it's still someone going, I'd want this real person who
This
does
is
exist in
essentially
real life.
stalking.
He's not hurting anybody.
He is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Not
One,
unless they see it or
he's
know it
making-
exists.
Porn
They
of
know
the
it
children
exists.
in his
Yeah,
They know
class.
it
because
exists.
Yeah, because he
You
did
would
it on
do
his
argument-
work
No,
computer.
your argument's muted.
So wait,
They
would
know
you-
Because he
it
did it on his
exists.
work computer.
So if your kids were in that guy's class, you'd be like, no, send him immediately back to be the teacher
No,
of my
he
children.
shouldn't be the teacher. He should get fired from his job, but he should not go to federal prison
Well, why
for that.
should he be fired from his job, Patrick?
Because it's creepy, but it shouldn't be illegal.
Because he
Okay, wait,
desperately
wait,
wants to
wait,
fuck
wait,
all
wait.
of our children.
Wait.
Like,
There's probably plenty of teachers that want to fuck the kids.
I think you're wrong. It should be illegal. But I do agree he shouldn't go to jail. He should go to a fucking hospital because he's sick. He's a sick person.
Dude, if the
He needs to
teacher
go to
was
a
doing
mental
that
asylum.
shit,
He needs to be locked in a mental asylum with a fucking psychiatrist who's like, listen, you were fucking touched as a kid. I can tell because you fucking did this.
dude, if a
So let's
teacher,
work
the
it the
art
fuck
teacher,
out.
if the art teacher is like such a good artist that they
No.
could draw the kids doing sexual shit, and it's like barely
As long as
not
he
a
doesn't
photograph.
do it, it's fine. Don't fucking draw kids.
Why not? It's
what
art.
do you think? It's sick. It's a disturbing thing. Regular people, normal people don't do that.
I disagree. I don't give a shit. Because at some point, AI is going to get so fucking good that I can take any human being and then make porn of them.
It shouldn't be children.
It could be anyone.
It doesn't matter.
You can't regulate
No,
it.
it doesn't matter. No, your argument's fucking stupid. It could be anyone. Guess what? It could also be fucking adults.
Yeah,
he
you
could have
can't
taken
regulate that.
pictures of any fucking other teacher.
You can't regulate that.
It doesn't matter.
How
You
are
do
you
what you
going
can
to-
to regulate it being children or not.
How are you going to regulate
Not
that?
even
until
just-
The
you
same way we
arrest them?
already do it. Hey, guess what? I discovered you have child porn. Guess what, dumb fuck? You're going to jail.
So
It's not
if
even
people
like-
that use VPNs, they can get away with it. Anybody uses a laptop that's not on the internet and they just have Dolly
Yeah, anyone
installed.
who's stupid enough to be discovered with child porn, it's illegal. Guess what? Dumb.
No, fuck that.
Oh my God,
See,
criminals
look.
who can get away with it. What a mind-blowing discovery.
As long as it's
This
not
is
hurting
like-
anyone, dude, I don't give a shit. And eventually you will have such developed AI on every computer in the world that you can make child porn instantaneously from
But you
anywhere in
shouldn't.
your pocket.
dude, there's definitely a lot of gray zones out there when it comes to sex and sexual art on the internet, okay? But it's not like this dude is looking at the cast of a cartoon. It's not like he's looking up, like he's drawing Alice in Wonderland or something like that.
I don't give a fuck who he jacks off to, even if it is children.
Well,
as long as it's not real
specific-
children.
It is specific real
It's their
children that he's
faces.
jacking off to.
It's their faces.
But they
Well,
are
if-
victims.
They're victims because this was made public. They are victims because the cops were like, guess what your teacher had a bunch of?
Nothing's a crime if no one finds out, dude.
No,
I could
it is not
rape
a
and
crime.
murder half the humans on the planet, but if no
there's
one
a
knows I did it,
victim in
then I
rape
didn't
and
commit a
murder,
crime.
even if people don't find
this.
out. There's a victim because the cops made it a fucking problem. The dude's boss didn't even report it.
Look, there's
Yeah,
like...
because they're fucked up and corrupt.
No, because he should have gotten fired, and he should have just been like, you are not going to be a teacher.
Look,
we're going to tell every single school in the state what you did, and you are never going to be working with children again.
If dude had a bunch of Genshin Impact porn all over his shit, dude, I would still think he was creepy, but I'd be like, Dan. Like,
what if it's not the students then? Like, what if it's not even his students? What if it's just random AI pictures of other children?
It's still fucking bad.
If he's looking at any
Like I
kind
said,
of
I don't
like...
even fucking agree with the lolly shit, but at least with that, you can be like, oh, it's a fucking cartoon or something. This is realistic, real fucking people.
AI doesn't look that good to where it's that realistic.
That's
It
not
doesn't
really
matter.
the problem.
It's the point. It's the spirit of it.
It's that he wants
fucking
the real.
Yes, it's the fact that he wants real.
The
He
fact
doesn't
that he
want
wants
fantasy,
it, sure,
he
but
wants
he's not
real.
hurting anybody.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to.
You know what? Fuck that. He
He's
hurt
going
me.
to.
He hurt me about hearing about this shit. Fuck him.
Yeah, you don't like it because you're pearl clutching, but he didn't do
I'm
a
not
damn
pearl
thing.
clutching. He
Yeah, you
hurt-
are, dude. He didn't hurt
me. He
you.
hurt people.
He
Nah,
didn't. He
bro.
didn't hurt
He did hurt
anybody.
people.
This
No,
is like
the
you
cops
found
hurt
him.
people.
You basically found him with a bunch of plans to commit a bunch of crimes. The fact that he hadn't quite done it yet isn't quite the same thing, dude. Like
the fact that that's
this is-
not the same thing. If I have the fucking simulator for shooting Trump on my computer that's on Steam, that doesn't mean I'm going to shoot the president.
no,
There's
but
like
this
12
is-
of those.
Yeah, but if you do shoot the president, no one's gonna be fucking surprised when you have Trump shot simulator on your fucking computer.
Sure, yeah. I'm not going to be surprised if the dude rapes a kid. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, but
But
so
he should not work with kids.
No, so if you fucking find somebody who has child porn, then you should fucking take them and go, hey, guess what? We have evidence that you're probably gonna do something bad, so we're gonna put you in a fucking hospital and treat you because you're sick.
How do you even treat it?
I'm not a fucking psychologist.
Therapy,
I don't have
bro.
the answer for that.
Psychiatry. I
The
don't
only
know.
thing we can do in modern day that I know of is we can
Load 'em
inject
with
people's
saltpeter.
dick. Yeah. We can inject people's dick so they can't get hard.
Chemically castrate
care,
the man.
I don't care what they do to him because he's a fucking pedophile, but put him in a hospital because he's sick.
I think any kind of offending pedophile should be physically castrated.
Yeah,
If
same.
we
allow them to
I
live.
agree with
if you
that.
if you hurt a child, like anything physical where you're physically touching the child, fucking cut their head off. I don't give a shit. But you generate AI art of a child
No,
with
I
their
disagree.
face.
It's the same thing. Like no,
Whatever.
If you find
I don't
evidence
think it's
of
the
something
same
where it's like,
thing as raping or
that's like
murdering
saying,
a
oh,
child.
I see you have some spots on your arm.
it's weed for personal use,
That
dude.
doesn't mean no. Like that's like the same thing as saying like, oh, you have boils growing on your hand. That's not a sign that something's wrong.
Nah, it's fucking marijuana for personal use in digital form.
If
No.
this is in the gray zone,
it's not,
in
he is
the-
going to federal prison.
I was about to say it is like the blackest part of the gray zone. Like this is so black that like, yeah, you haven't touched a kid, but oh my God, you fit 99.99 repeating percent of the criteria.
That's like somebody coughing,
Like-
sneezing, sniffling, and you're like, nah,
There's-
they can't possibly.
You just
be
don't
sick.
do shit to people until they offend, unless it's going to
No.
be murder.
There is
there
a
are-
logical point where you have to be like, okay, like there's like he hasn't done anything yet, and then there's like a leering, mincing pedophile slobbering
shit
over
Like the guy from
this is
the
the same
children.
exact,
Like the guy from Boys
Like,
Beware.
he
Yeah.
is slobbering over specific children
boy, yes.
and has gone way out of his way to make porn about the specific children that he is regularly the only adult responsible for them.
In context, this
That
is
is-
just the situation where he's sitting at the park watching the boys play basketball.
Like that is so dark gray that anyone who is not calling that black is being pedantic.
I just
like,
think,
that is
I
like
think
the-
that at the very least you should it's possible that would keep them from offending.
That's like
in
if
my
I-
personal opinion, I think that stuff like that could keep pedophiles from raping children. Because it's basically getting it out of their system.
Okay, so I've thought of the logic of what you're talking about right now. You're giving people an outlet to do something where it doesn't really hurt people.
Yes.
AKA Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Okay, where now this game literally allows you to do almost all of the craziest crimes, right?
Yeah.
All of the
I
crimes,
wish you had
like the
farted
pseudo,
into the microphone. That would have been perfect for this
all
show.
the pseudo fun
for this
crimes.
conversation.
You know, all the blowing up, the murder,
all
the
fun
robbery,
stuff.
you
Like
know,
the shooting the president on Steam.
yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's part of the appeal. And yes, Grand Theft Auto does not lead to people doing crimes. If anything, there does seem to be a little bit of the opposite kind of effect where, you know, now people who would have otherwise had kind of that rowdy thought in the back of their head, like, what if I smash out the windows on my neighbor's car? You know, instead they're just like, well, I could play Grand Theft Auto and just literally murder my neighbor.
Beat an old woman to death
Yeah.
with a pipe on the sidewalk.
Like that dark thought now got played out. I don't have any real reason or feeling to do it in the real world. And like now we're good and done. Now, but there is a point where it becomes eyebrow raising, you know, like where you constantly are just doing this one thing obsessively over and over and over again. If I, you know, walked into a room and saw my homie playing Grand Theft Auto, and he's just like, you know, beating an old lady, I'm just like, funny, Grand Theft Auto, you know, I walk away. Say I walk back in an hour later, he's still beating that one old lady. Okay.
And then you find out that old lady looks kind of like his neighbor.
And then you come back the next day and find him beating that old lady in the same spot. Now I'm not so much thinking Grand Theft Auto. I'm just like, he has some sort of serious fixation that might be leading to something other
I would
than,
really
like,
only
what's
agree with
going
that
on
if the
here.
guy was going to distribute the pictures to other people.
Like, let's say he did. That's
If
like,
he did, I'm like, okay, well, fuck you.
Well, wait.
You're obviously hurting children at this
no,
point.
no. Distributing the pictures to other people. No. He's keeping this shit secret. He wants to be with the kids. He's not going to tell other people about
He
it.
finds out he can make money off of it, and he would
So
distribute
if he
it.
It's actually weirdly common for if pedophiles know about each other to fucking
Yeah, they'll
be in their
distribute
little
shit.
fucking
Yeah.
pedophile
Sure.
circles.
It's like fucking
but
animals.
him not doing that isn't like, shouldn't be the crux of whether or not he's, you know, all the way in.
Because this isn't possession
You know.
of child assault material, which is what they call child pornography now.
Okay.
No child got
No,
assaulted.
I would say.
So
this,
I guess
this,
there's an
no, I'd
argument
say-
to be made that if he did not have AI before he had started this, maybe he would have gone so far as to obtain
more like.
such a picture by more physical
Fuck
means
yeah,
already.
He was fucking already jacking off to probably the high school girl basketball
like the
team.
idea.
I feel like
probably.
if we're continuing to escalate over and over and over again, we're just gonna keep leading there.
Escalating. Yeah, it's
Now-
just gonna keep escalating.
I don't like slippery slope arguments, but like, you know, there has to be a point where something's so fucking dark gray we can all just
I think
agree
AI
it's
is a
essentially black
de-escalation,
and
in my
move around.
opinion.
Fuck that. At some point, there's a fucking line you have to draw where it's like, all right, this not okay. I don't care.
I agree. If he distributes it to other people, that is my line. If he does it by himself on his computer,
point in which
no
I-
one else knows about it.
The only point in which I agree with you is I agree he shouldn't go to federal prison. He should be put in an asylum. He's a sick
not
person
sure.
who needs psychiatrical
But there's
help.
so many
I
of
really
these
don't
people.
know what the proper punishment is for that. Yeah, I mean, maybe just something where, like, you know, non-voluntary, you know, medical
that's
help.
where I think it should be illegal. Is like, no, if you're
Um,
caught with this, you're sick.
Not necessarily
Obviously, you have the
prison.
symptoms of someone who is sick.
because we did catch him before he did the
So-
worst thing that we're all worried
So
about.
you're being
most,
non-voluntarily
I would agree he should go to
commissioned
therapy.
a fucking you're being non-volunteered into a fucking asylum. where we
Asylum
can
is like means he can't leave. I
yeah,
say
exactly. He can't
Well, no,
fucking
I
leave.
should
don't
go to
think-
therapy.
No, he
There's
shouldn't be
no
in public.
optional thing here.
Yeah,
like,
no, he shouldn't be in public.
I'm not saying he necessarily has to live at like the place. It just kind of depends with that. I don't really know. It would depend on the setup.
It should be the same as
But-
court ordered Alcoholics Anonymous. It should be. He should go to a thing where it's like, look, we know that you do this shit.
This is more than
You're not gonna
you're not gonna put someone who's killed a family of 3.
I'm scooting back towards Will on that.
No, dude, because it's like anger management. It's court-ordered anger management. People get in a fist fight and road rage, and then the judge says, all right, you're going to this fucking group where people talk about how they can't help themselves and get in fist fights over road rage.
Best I'd give is like a house arrest where like some therapist comes to him.
We don't do that to people who like actually assault people.
This is different though. This is
a complete miscarriage of justice. That's a whole nother conversation.
These people should go to fucking anger management if they're just like normal people.
No, they shouldn't be allowed to be. No, this is the issue with like Alcohol Anonymous. The one of the things there is like you don't want to be around alcohol and all that kind of shit. Problem is with the pedophiles is like fucking their children in public all the time.
Yeah, it's the 13th step in Alcoholics Anonymous is taking advantage of somebody who's new, getting them hooked on something and then abusing them. Like, yes, that is an issue in 12-step programs, and it would happen in what I'm talking about. It happens in anger management, it happens in every single one of those things.
I think
so we should account for that.
Yeah, those people get arrested. That's how we account for that.
Okay, well, then we should go ahead and account for it even more and go, okay, well, it's obviously there's a problem here with this program. Fucking put them in individual care. This group shit's not working.
You know, I just thought of something. Definitely have the mandatory, you know, either they have to go visit the therapist or a therapist has to come to their house.
I swear to God, I thought he was going to go, I just thought of something. Why don't we create AI child porn and then see how this works in real time?
No. I was going to say.
And we can all test this as a theory.
Since they were going back behind everyone's back and doing all this shit, what we do is we completely destroy their right to privacy.
Yeah, I mean,
in other words,
happens.
put them under like a 24-hour surveillance system. Basically.
That happens with anger management people. That's fine. I mean, that's what house arrest is.
You have to stay at your house, and your house will be completely like bugged, and it will be like cameraed. Like can't
just put a cop out in front of their house. Don't fucking bug their whole damn house. That's way too much money and like an abuse of like funding.
I don't know. It's less money than are already not enough.
Sure,
cops.
I mean, like the NSA
I think
is
a couple
already watching
Bluetooth
him.
cameras and shit would be a whole lot fucking cheaper than housing him in a jail.
It should be, yeah. I would imagine so. I mean, I would just say watch his fucking internet history.
You know, you come in there, you slap some chains on him, you kick him to the fucking dirt, and you turn everything back on.
Put a fucking new router outside of his house.
If he does it again, you drag his ass to jail.
He can't leave his house. Put a new router outside of his house. Hook the wire that goes into his house up to this router, and that feeds directly
there
to
will be
Police
zero
HQ.
expectations of privacy.
Yeah, just make it like me as a kid. Like, just do that. Just do what my dad did to me. You don't need to put the dude in an asylum. Just make it be like, yeah, you're putting him on probation, and then being like, let's see if you can do this.
If it was me in charge, he'd be in an asylum. The best I would allow is like a strict ass house arrest.
Let's be real. If it was me in charge, I'd kill him because like that's what the people are going to want, and that's what's going to get me reelected. But that's if I'm in charge. Now, if I'm not in charge, and I'm looking at this from a like community-based scenario, I'm like, you're going to waste my goddamn tax dollars putting this man in an asylum. He doesn't need to be in an asylum. He needs to have house arrest and do what we do to child predators, like sexual whatever they're called, offenses. What are they fucking called? Where you have to go and say, hey, I'm a sexual predator to your neighbors.
I don't know.
Put him on that fucking list.
I never had that happen. I thought they automatically go
sex
to that.
offender list.
Yeah, sex offender. Yeah, just make him a sex offender.
I thought they automatically go on that list.
Of course, I'm sure he is, but like, don't put him on an asylum. Like, I'm sure he's going to federal prison, and he got $350,000 bail. Like, he's in debt for the rest of his life already. He will probably never do this again because his life is already ruined.
Well, if you just stay in jail, you don't have to pay bail.
That's a good point. I mean, he could have chose that.
If you don't pay bail,
he
then
might still go to prison.
If I had a $360,000 bail, I don't care what the crime is. I'm just fucking staying in jail till my court date. I mean, I can't afford that shit. I don't know anyone who can.
I don't know if your crime is his crime.
Yeah, he's been selling this child porn to other people. He's got plenty of money.
I'll be honest, if my crime was his crime,
I'm not gonna ever do that crime. So
I'd fucking kill myself.
Same.
I would just kill myself before doing the crime. I think if that was something.
This is gonna be my mom being like, I hear you're talking about pedophilia. Hold on.
Yeah, no. It's not okay to hurt innocent things in general. I think that's the biggest deal with why this shit bothers us so much. And like, you know, humans are terrible, but like kids haven't had time to like decide whether or not to be a terrible person. For every 20 crackheads, you get a Gandhi. You know, you never know.
Sure.
Like it's.
I mean, I think it's just the effect of like, we know for a fact that children do mentally, physically, and all that get hurt.
Yeah, no, there's like
If
super
they're
long-term
introduced to
ramifications
Anything
to
sexual at like an early enough age.
like there's sex positivity. Like, don't get me wrong.
All right,
Like,
sorry, I'm
not-
back. That was my mother telling me that my dad, ever since his stroke, has become a pedophile, and he was making AI images of me in the bathtub.
Well, hopefully,
Oh, well,
he gets
that's
put on
okay.
asylum.
No, she killed him.
Oh, good.
She killed
Oh,
him. Yeah,
okay.
she
Well,
just
that works.
immediately,
There you go.
she put him down.
I was
So,
gonna say, as your father, technically that's legal. You know, he's allowed to do that.
yeah,
That's fine.
well, as my father, you're now legally my father. Anyways, do you want to be a pallbearer?
Will proceeds to give out extremely identifying information for all of the members of the podcast as a funny little goof. Haha, Will. Very funny.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
I can't stop thinking about my dad jacking off to AI pictures of me. It's
pretty hot.
Yeah, it is actually.
He's got you like in the red, like
the bubble
the Wong
bath.
dress.
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
Ada
and the-
Wong dress.
Yeah, and the bubble bath and the high heels.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably some good pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to distribute those around if you want a copy. I'll have them up on
Dude,
the
for sure.
I'll have them up on the screen at the
Just
funeral.
tell me if you need paper. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Imagine like you're somebody from out of state
Yeah.
and you come to the funeral.
Oh, Jesus.
I would like to play a short video.
Oh my God.
For
My
the
dad
audience.
made it using AI. He really loved me and
Yeah,
his family.
yeah.
This particular video is mostly about me.
God, that just fucking reminds me of
My
It's
milkshakes
literally-
bring all the boys to the yard, and they're
It's
like,
you with a full rack of like normal titties. And the end of the video is
what was-
his avatar coming on your titties.
yeah.
What
yeah.
was the movie where like it was like a British guy, like a little British boy, and he's like, "Daddy," and he gets shot with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's
Old Boy.
Old Boy. It's the British version of Old Boy. He goes,
Yeah,
Father.
no, so just to catch you up real quick, this British dad is just raping his whole family. He just the whole family he rapes.
They're
them.
rich as fuck. He's raping his family. He's like a rich criminal.
Anyways,
guy.
he goes insane. He starts killing.
No,
everybody.
he gets found out and decides it's easier to kill his family and himself.
Okay, well, gets found out, and he kills his wife, kills the daughter, and then he bursts in the room, and then the first thing you see is the boy jumps up, starts wrestling with his belt, and goes, "Daddy!"
Father,
I was not aware that Old Boy was a comedy. I thought it was.
The American
not
one
at
is.
all.
The American one is. The Korean
Yeah.
one is not.
The American's fucking
God
hilarious.
damn.
Now
My
I'm gonna have
milkshake
to-
brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's got like a clock wipe, and then like really shitty PowerPoint
if you want to be creeped
presentation
out
stuff.
for an entire one, there is this movie called Mute.
Oh yeah, that one's fun.
Interesting.
We've talked about that
it's-
before on the show.
Wait, is that the
It's,
one where the son is raping the dad?
No. Mute is about this Amish guy who can't speak.
in the future?
He's in the cyberpunk
Oh,
future.
you've described this one to me before.
Yeah,
and, he's,
and so like the antagonists are these two dudes, this one dude with a daughter, and then this pedophile.
yeah. And guess what happens to the daughter?
yeah, no.
He's making AI images of her. Honestly, if
probably.
that movie was made today, that would be
That
like
would be a plot
that would be a
line. Yeah.
plot line.
Yeah.
It'd be like, you've made all these AI images of my daughter.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill-
Yeah.
I need to run to the bathroom.
I
Real
mean,
quick.
how they basically
I'm now
Hold on the
legitimately thinking, like, if I had a daughter, would I be mad if somebody made AI porn of her?
I'd hope so.
No, I mean, like, I have to also think, like, well, I mean, you gotta also say, like, at what age am I not gonna get mad anymore?
When she's an adult and can choose for herself.
Sure, but like, when am I gonna be like, no, it's all right? Is she a porn star already before my like thought process goes to, of course, my whore of a daughter?
No, I would say like when society illegally is like, all right, you're an adult.
So when she's like 6
No,
in Saudi Arabia.
I mean we don't live in Saudi Arabia.
Well, when I have a daughter, I will. I'm not having children in
All right, well,
America.
fucking
This,
go to Saudi
this
Arabia, you
backwards ass
goddamn
country.
jackass.
This thing's going down the toilet. I don't know if you've seen what the president's
Have you
been
seen
doing.
the stocks?
I'd rather live other Emirates.
No, but like seriously, the stocks have been fucking middling for a little bit. now.
They're okay. They're kind of like
I
going
wouldn't-
back and then
I wouldn't
like,
say
back
it's
and forth.
okay considering it's like a big dip. and now
Considering
it's
I thought
just
it'd be
like
way worse, they're okay. Like my expectations were low. I thought it would get way worse, but Trump obviously has this way of like keeping rich people buying stocks and keeping them like involved.
I think it's just like everyone understands, like if we stop believing in the economy, it stops working.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
then everyone's also going, God damn, this economy's not working.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Did you see that the fucking Secretary of Economics or whatever told people to buy Tesla stocks yesterday?
My God, yes.
I was like, okay,
They're so desperate.
That's just cronyism.
Yes.
Imagine.
They're so desperate.
Imagine
They dropped
any
$200.
other situation, any other administration, and somebody saying, buy this one particular
Imagine
stock.
Obama doing it. Imagine Obama doing it.
He would have been lynched.
Yeah.
As he should have been.
He would
in the
have been.
first place, but he would have actually been lynched.
Fucking... Yeah, no. The moment I saw the Teslas on the White House lawn, and
that's.
Did you see the picture?
I
Thank
did,
God
yeah,
we have
yeah.
such high resolution cameras.
I just hate all of that. I don't know. I don't really even hate Trump's administration style as far as like his economic plan. I do hate him as a human being.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the dude is so morally bankrupt. That I made the joke to my father. I was like, yeah, he doesn't have any morals or ethics because that's bad for business. Like, it really is. Like, it really is just like, what if the Penguin was the president?
It is. We are living, but we don't have Batman, sadly.
Yeah, we don't have, well, we do, but it's really like...
Well, he missed and got killed by a sniper.
Yeah, I was like, we do, but he uses guns and he missed, and you know, like there was a whole thing actually where we had like a little Batman. He was like a little guy too. He wasn't even like a big guy.
Hey, he was a little guy.
God damn! Would that make Elon Musk Two-Face or is he Dr. Freeze?
No, he's like Lex Luthor.
Oh, he is like Lex Luthor. Okay, that's still DC.
Or you know what? God, I'm trying to think of
We have
any,
a Poison Ivy.
I'm trying to think of any Gotham. It's that news.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the news lady?
Yeah.
Is it the Secretary
Or
of
is she
Press?
like Harley?
No, she's easily Harley. She's like
Okay.
hot and just being like, yeah, well, big fucking
She
problem
got
for
corrected
you.
by Fox.
I did. I saw it, dude. She's I love her double speak. Her shit of
She's
like
so good at it.
yeah, she's fantastic for that job. I was like, God, she is bankrupt morally, but goddamn, she's good at this job. She just goes, it is the opinion of this administration. That's how she starts everything, where she's like, I know it's wrong, but go fuck yourself. Like
My opinion.
Yeah. The opinion of this administration is you can go fucking kill yourself and punch dirt. I love it.
And what's even better about like that they're still being corrected by like the news reporters in that is like, so two things. One, they've already kicked out like AP.
I was gonna say, they laid AP back in yet?
Nope. They
Really?
kicked
Damn.
out
The Gulf of
Politico.
America's that important, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And like then they said they'll be selective with like who they let in. Like, in news
I saw.
conferences. And they're still being called out for their bullshit.
Yeah, of course, because like at some point you're just lying. Like and like it's really just
And like the thing I guess that is,
proves that Fox is not like complete cronyism though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like it's close. It's close. They have their beliefs, but at some point they'll be like, "Wait a minute, you're lying."
well, at some point I think it's less that they have moral beliefs, and it's like, okay, if we just report your lies, at some point people are going to stop.
Yeah, we
trusting
can't
us.
spin this.
Yeah.
They're panicking.
Yeah.
They're panicking.
I think it's more like I think it's more of a PO or a ROI thing where it's like we are technically used as the news. If we just repeat lies over and over and over, people won't trust us.
I do believe that Trump has extremely good PR. I think that like because no matter what awful shit he says or does, somebody out there spins it into a good thing.
Or if it's just fucking, it's just the propaganda is so deep.
It's thick. It's thick. The fucking
like,
burning
every
a
time I
Tesla
hear
makes
about
you
Trump-
a terrorist thing.
Yeah, every time I hear about fucking Trump, it's something bad. But like every single time I talk to like a I guess a normie or like just like someone in my factory.
Yeah.
About Trump, it's like they're just trying to start stuff.
He does do things
It's
that
like
I agree with.
They just glaze over.
Yeah, because like because from some people's perspectives, like my father's perspective, I see why they're just like they're not really affected by that because they've seen so many people promise these things that they are doing and then not do it. So from this point, they're like, I'm willing to take whatever as long as I get those things that I've been promised a million times that have never happened.
Right.
Like English being the national language, Christianity being the national
Eagle
religion.
is the national bird.
Yeah, like stuff that like that red-blooded Republicans really like get their rocks hard for.
Yeah.
That
well,
shit.
like, I think that's also a big part of the problem where like it feels like government right now is less about actually governing a society, and it's just like, let's throw a entertaining show for the people that voted for us.
I think it's holding it together. I think that like government right now is more about holding it together while they make
I think that's
changes.
what the people who lost the election are trying to do.
I think it's what the Republicans are even trying to do. They're making changes while trying to make sure that the country doesn't fall apart. Like the Tesla thing, though, the burning Teslas, then that making you a terrorist and that making you qualified for going to El Salvador prison.
I was about to say, do you think we're in a constitutional crisis? Because that judge did say all that shit. Like,
Are we?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't even think it's like, I don't even know if that's debatable. Because like at some
that's
point.
like freedom of speech, isn't it?
What? Burning a Tesla?
No, just like, well, he said not only burning it, but protest.
Protest, of course, but
boycotts, he said, would be counted as domestic terrorism.
Illegal protests, which are like you didn't have a permit, that kind of shit.
I don't think you can illegally protest.
You can, but like, and we do have a very easy legal process for protests, which makes it kind of surprising to me that these people didn't do it. But like, I know like younger generation, they don't know probably that it even exists.
Well, I would also argue that there shouldn't be such a thing as a legal or illegal protest. A protest is a protest.
Yeah, it's a protest, but like at some point you can just say
like
all
that
the
is-
AOC's thing where she was like telling people here are your legal rights,
Yeah.
and then him being like she's a traitor,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, no, because
that is an actual freedom of speech thing.
yeah, it's a freedom of speech thing, like
Or like kicking AP out for just being like, no, this is, the still
that's
a Gulf
freedom of
Mexico.
press, which I don't believe in.
Well, that's still freedom of speech in the First Amendment.
I think so. I don't know where the freedom of press comes
Still,
from
that's
as far as
still
the
in the first.
Constitution. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I disagree with freedom of the press because I think that's how you get Fox News and InfoWars.
I think you should have I think you should have a state media. I think you should have a baseline state media, and then everything around that. Like, of course, if it was me, it'd be like, these are the people who will tell you the facts of everything.
So
and
AP
everything,
News.
Everything around that is just fucking what? Yeah, basically.
Yeah. A very boring version, which is C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Like C-SPAN is default. Like that's just news.
I will-
Hell, it's not even news. It's you can watch the government happen if
Yeah.
you want. It's boring, but you can watch it.
I
Not
think-
so much recently.
I think hilariously with C-SPAN, something that always makes me laugh when I do watch it is if they take callers, they're so quick to cut people off too, because they just the way they do it, and I know there's
C-SPAN takes callers.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
so like sometimes they'll be just to have somebody talking to people, and like they'll just have callers, and like the funny part is when like the caller starts talking for too long, and then they're just like.
Just cut them off.
And there's no like I'm just like you have to be. I'm convinced you have to be a sociopath. Like that's where
To be on C-SPAN? Yeah, of course,
Well,
yeah.
that's where high functioning sociopath. Because like to imagine the I don't know the willpower.
You're just a robot.
Yeah, just imagine the willpower of just like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, your job is to wait 30 seconds, let them talk, and then cut them off no matter what they're saying.
Yes.
That's your job.
And it's hilarious. To
I
see
could do that job.
It's
I could
hilarious
easily-
to see them do it with just no emotion.
I wouldn't be able to do it with no emotion. I'd probably laugh a lot. Because like 99% of the time, I'm like, it's going to be so funny when this motherfucker runs out of time. I just hope he ends on like the dumbest word or something. I don't know. I could do that. Some of the shit, like the whole Tesla thing, like, do I think Department of Government Efficiency is a bad idea? No. Do I think the way they're doing is bad? Yeah. Do I think that there's any way you could do it right? Yeah.
We also already had a Department of Government
Yeah, but they
Efficiency.
sucked dick, but you know that. You're a communist.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually,
like,
it's really weird because like
they were very bought out, like, seemingly. That seems
Yeah.
to be the way they've operated for their entire existence.
like my argument for that would be like, look, you have the bones there. There's no reason to make an entirely new department when you can
Yeah.
just purge that one and fucking put who you want there.
That's the drain the swamp idea, though. Like, it's a revolution. I do believe that what Trump is doing is revolution. I think it's revolution, like light, but I think it's revolution because my man is cutting entire departments, destroying federal jobs, and then replacing them with his approved version of it. And if that ain't revolution, I don't know what is.
I saw something the other day that I thought was pretty good, where it's like Trump sold different parts of the presidency, like his domestic policy, he sold that to Elon. His foreign policy, he sold that to Putin. And fucking, like, you know, basically everything else, like, from there is, like, all the other departments under him. That's whoever's running is.
He's a businessman. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised, and it's what I expected from him.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
But that is what I expect, is for him to look at it like a business and then say, how do I capitalize on the things that I have power over? And the best way to capitalize on what you have power over is to sell it. And my man did it. Hell, he sold the idea of presidency in his first term.
Did you see
by
that,
selling hats.
He was going around begging a bunch of people in Europe for eggs.
For eggs, yeah.
So
and nobody will give him eggs.
No, but we did. Now we are getting it from Turkey and South Korea.
It's Turkey and South Korea. I could see South Korea not caring because they have a very like. Did you enjoy the pictures of you as a baby in the bathroom? I made those with AI earlier. I put them above the toilet because I knew that you usually come over here and have to like poop or something during the podcast. I wanted you to have something to look at.
It helps me finish. It makes me feel more at home.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
We're talking about how foreign policy and like eggs prices.
Bro, I figured out a solution to that like as soon as it became a problem.
Getting chickens?
No. Going to somebody's house who's already got chickens.
Yeah.
And then
legitimately,
giving them a fucking $5 and you can get a shitload of fucking eggs.
Legitimately, me and Kara were talking this morning about buying chickens. We were going to get the lean-to out there.
I want to check and make sure that's
when
cool.
I was living here.
Yeah, but we don't have anywhere to put them.
You might want to check and make sure that's cool with like the coding and whatnot.
It is actually. I already looked into that way long ago, and guess what I can have here?
Huh.
Anything I fucking want.
No, like the coding for like unless it's exotic, unless it's counted as an exotic animal.
Yeah.
You can pretty much have whatever.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Okay.
The coding here specifically, I'm not going to say where we are, obviously, because we're recording, but the coding here is dumb as shit.
Yeah, I also
it is
up,
Mississippi.
and basically the code is just...
I think the limit was we could have 12 horses, and there was no limit on the amount of land necessary to have them.
Yeah.
That seems
and I was like,
disturbing.
Somebody in the past obviously lobbied our local government for like an absurd like law
he wanted he was being very abusive to his animals.
Of course,
and
of
he
course.
did not want to pay any kind of extra money to make sure that it was cool. So
ironically, his first name was
"What?"
Donald, and I don't remember his last name, but he's like a big guy these
Duck?
days. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the guy.
He's I got some footage of him doing some cool stuff in like this big room that he's got full of. You've seen. I've shown you that. He gets off like a diving board and he jumps into the.
Yeah.
That was his grandfather, great
Oh
uncle.
yeah,
I think.
that's not him. They look the same though. They really do.
They really favor in the face.
All ducks look the same.
Yeah,
You can't say that,
dude.
on the show.
Chill.
I mean,
Patrick also bleeped that.
Like, chill out. Anyway, but we do live in the South, so like having a friend who has chickens or just fucking getting some is honestly the best answer to that problem. Because chickens, not that expensive, and they eat almost anything.
Yeah, they do. You can literally just put them somewhere with chicken wire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Half the time,
Also,
you can
Will,
skip the chicken
I didn't
wire.
want you to give you fucking chickens because you go through hobbies like every 6 weeks. 1 week you're into astronomy, and then the next you're fucking planning like catnip, and then you do that for one cycle and then move on to something else. You get chickens and then be like, God damn, these chickens are still a thing in my life. And say like 6 weeks later, be like, you want to buy some chickens? I need to find somebody to buy these chickens.
This is why
I'm trying to get into Blender and 3D modeling, and I don't have time. I don't have time to take care of chickens.
It's like, I'll take them, but I'm not going to take care of them. Let's just put it this way. I'm going to take care of them once tonight, and then about 95% of your chickens will be in my deep freezer.
Dude, there's a mini quest. There's a quest in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth where you go get like this sweet old lady, and she's like, "Oh, my chickens are all over the place," and you're like, it's like the Ocarina of Time thing where you get her chickens.
I bet they are, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Just slap her titties around. And slap her ass.
Nah,
But you go like get her.
just a labia, just fucking hate it.
Like
Stick your
dusting
mouth
off
on
old
it.
curtains, man.
Stick your mouth on there, do some raspberries.
You just
You gotta see him like
fly
flapping.
down.
How you do it every time.
A bunch of dust is like flying.
Some dust and spit.
And some spiders.
Yeah, you see like a spider go.
One chicken.
Oh, there's where it was.
Oh, that's one.
That's one. Thank you so much, young man.
That's the rooster known as the cock.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Yes, Will brought it home. Good job.
Oh, there we
Anyways, you
go.
go get her chickens and you bring them back, and she's like, "Thank you for getting my chickens. Now I will serve you my most famous meal. Say night night." And she like gets a thing and kills a chicken right in front of you. And Red 13's just like, "Did we do a bad thing? I think we did a bad thing. We just got all those chickens killed. They were running away from a murderer."
It's like, well, yes and no.
Yes and no. She does need to eat. And one of
yeah.
them was in her pussy, so
That one probably wanted to die. Trust me, I put my mouth on that thing. That is not a place sufficient for withholding life.
You say that. You could eat anything off that thing.
As long as you like the
you're
yeast.
down there and you're like, wait a minute, this usually tastes like fish, but like I'm getting a hint of like hints of chicken in there. All right, anyways, that's the show, folks. Thank you for listening. I'm Patrick.
I'll bring the microphone in the bathroom next time, Eric.
Go ahead.
I'm Will.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
That was funny, dude.